Okay, so I'm going to go over a quick review of our commands in the two forms before we start moving on to our usted and more formal commands. You might have heard them called the mandatos or los imperativos, your imperatives or your mandatos, your mandates. But these are our commands and how to make them. So if you remember from earlier in the year, positive to commands are very easy to form. It's the third person present tense of our verb. So if I have the verb hablar and I want to say, which means to speak, I want to say speak, I would say habla, habla. So quickly think about how would you say run, take, or call. It would be habla, we'd speak, corre, to run, tomar is to take, so toma esto, take this. Llámame, call me. So they're very easy to form, right? Pretty easy, regular. There are a few irregulars, and these are them. Ser becomes se, like se bueno. Ir becomes ve, like there's obviously never very regular, right? So it's different, and it goes ve, like ve a tu cuarto, go to your room. Decir becomes di la verdad, tell the truth. Poner becomes pon tu libro en la mochila, put your book in the backpack. Salir becomes sal de aquí, leave here, just go away. And then tener becomes ten cuidado, be careful, or to have care. Venir becomes ven a la fiesta, come to the party. And then hacer becomes haz tu tarea. So do. Hacer is to do or to make. So you can just say do it. Hazlo. Do it. Okay. So your negative informal commands are the opposite. So remember, all of these ones before were like do it. Now, if you're not going to do it, it's a little bit different. So there's two steps. You're going to go to yo, the first person present tense of the form. You're going to go to yo, and then drop the yo and add the opposite ending. So that's just kind of a little hint. Go to yo, drop the yo, add the opposite ending. So if you're going to go to yo, which is hablo, and then drop our o. Go to the next slide. Hablo, drop our o, and add the opposite. It's an AR verb, so it's going to get an ER-IR ending. So, but it's going to be the opposite to second person ending because that's who we're giving the command to, right? This is an informal to command. So you're going to opposite ending. So, no hables, don't speak. No me hables, like don't even talk to me. No me hables. And then to vosotros, no habléis. It sounds very similar, right? You just have to give a little bit stronger to the e and then give time to be the e. E. No habléis. Okay. Let's keep going here. So let's practice those. So first person present tense is like go to yo, is this column. And we'll drop the o and add our opposite endings. We have to and vosotros. And then we're going to get to the usted ones, which are actually the same. Let's look at it. Okay, so here we went to the yo in all of these. So yo becomes digo. Remember, it's a go verb. That's why they have little stars next to them to remind you. Salir becomes salgo. Escuchar becomes escucho. Hacer becomes hago. Dormir, remember, is a boot verb, so it becomes duermo. Comenzar is also a boot verb, so this is comienzo. And caminar becomes camino. Do you remember what these words mean? Might have been a while. To say, to leave, or to say or tell, to leave, to listen, to do, to sleep, to begin, and to walk. So just try to remember your vocabulary thing that goes with them. So if I want to say don't tell, no digas. No salgas, don't leave. And then changing it to vosotros in Spain. No digáis, no salgáis. Escuchar becomes no escuches. Don't listen. Like, don't listen. Cover your ears. Cubrite las orejas. No escuches. Don't listen. And then this one, oops, should have an accent here. No escuchéis. No hagas becomes no hagáis. And then no duermas, don't sleep. No te duermas, don't fall asleep. If you make it reflexive, it says don't fall asleep. And then the only one here that's a little bit weird is in vosotros. Instead of member, it's a boot verb, but also when you make it into a command, that's going to be durmais. No durmais, like don't you guys sleep. And then no comiences, don't start. Like, don't get started. No comencéis, don't get started. And then no camines, and then no caminéis. Those are our commands for the informal and tú and usted, or tú and vosotros. Now, let's move on to make sure you've written on how to do that so that you guys can practice in conjuguemos later. And let's look at what happens when they become usted commands. So it's the same go to yo. So you're going to go to yo, take out the yo, and add the opposite ending. And it's actually the same. Well, first negative. Okay. No hable. I don't. There we go. All right, there it's in there. Okay. Go to yo is hablo. Take out the yo, and then usted. You're just going to add the usted form, the opposite usted form. So remember how we did the two forms for the two opposite twos? Now we're going to do the opposite usted. No hable. Or ustedes no hablen. Tell lots of people. And so you probably won't use the vosotros. And I probably won't even have it on a quiz, but I will have the ustedes and the usted and the two forms. So if there's not a vosotros, like, you should know about it, but you don't have to memorize it. You should know about it, but you don't have to memorize it. But the usted and ustedes you do. All right. So here we go again. Those same verbs. Let's look at those. Remember the first person. Can you remember those from our chart above? There we go. Corro becomes cor, like the positive command is the same. Corra. So remember, the positive is going to be the same as the negative in usted. All right? No usted corra, and then no corra. Decir que diga, no diga. Salga, no salga. Escuche, no escuche. Haga, no haga. Duerma, no duerma. Comience, no comience. Camine, no camine. And then no corran, no digan, no salgan, no escuchen, no hagan, no duerman. No comiencen and no caminen. So look, the easy thing to know about usted is they're the same in positive and negative, unlike tú. It's a little bit different in both. Take a second and write that down so that you can remember it. All right. There are two irregulars in the formal commands. Guess, yep, it's always ir and ser. Ser becomes no sea instead of no se. Remember, it's two is like positive. It's part of the positive commands that are irregular. There's no se, but now in usted form becomes no sea malo. So ustedes no sean perezosos. Like, don't be lazy, you guys. No vayas is the two form, and now you say no vaya. And then no vayan is the usted form. Don't know why that's a Spain, but I don't know why that says Spain. I needed to say Spain. That's just usted. Okay. Excuse me. Let's look at a couple really quick so that you make sure we have them. You know how to write them all out in your command form. Okay, so like we did on this one, do remember is just the third person, habla, like speak, and then no hables. And then if it was usted, you would just say hable or no hable. And then hablen, no hablen. And then habléis is up here. I'm not going to cover those. It'll be there, but you don't need to worry about it. Okay. So, same for positive for corre, to corre, corre. And then no corras, don't run. And then corra, run, no corra, don't run. But I'm talking to usted, not to. And then ustedes corran, no corran. That's the wrong direction. Okay, corran or no corran? How about these? These are both irregular. What do you think? Do you remember what the positive one is? This one? It's the. And then no digas. So tell, or no, don't say anything. No digas. And then diga, dígame, tell me. And then no digas. Or no digas, sorry. Oops. And then digan, no digan. No digan a nadie. Don't tell anybody. But I'm talking to a lot of people when I say that. I can tell you, no le digas a nadie. Don't tell anybody. But, all right. Positive, ten, for tener, have. When I say ten is like to have something, but if I'm going to say ten esto, I'm saying have it. But it's also say like take it. So when you use tener as a command, it can also mean take, like take this from me. Ten esto, like hold this for me or take this from me. And then no tengas. A lot of times these are used for like no tengas miedo, don't be afraid. Okay. No tengas prisa, don't be in a rush. Tenga and no tenga. Tengan, no tengan. So remember we went to yo, I was tango, dropped the yo, and that's why we got those endings there. All right. And then commands, all together. Ir and ser. Irregulars. I'll try those on your own. Okay, if you unpause the video, there we are. Ve. Remember that's go. Vete, go away. No vayas. Vaya, no vaya. Vayáis, vayáis. Vayan, no vayan. Se, to be good. Pero no seas, or sea, no sea. Sean, no sean. Okay. But hold on a second. Okay, we're getting to the end, but I wanted to go back to where we talked about irregular to commands. I'm not sure that I said this in past lessons, so I want to make sure you know it now, that if there are irregulars, like all of these 2 ones, how do we remember these 8 ones? Well, there's a good way to remember them. If you remember that Ben Diesel has 10 weapons, Ben Diesel has 10 weapons, Ben Diesel has 10 weapons, you're going to remember all 8 of our irregular to commands. So just remember that Ben Diesel has 10 weapons. Ben Diesel has 10 weapons. Okay, so remember that as we're moving forward, just to kind of help you remember which ones are irregular in the to form. So here we are back to where we were. In the last part, so things that we're going to practice, I have some practices in here. I'm going to work on those in our class connect. So I'm just going to move on past that. You can see, I don't want this to be too much longer. So if you're going to ask your friend to leave on time, just to your friend, you'd say, por favor, sal a tiempo. And then to your work client, salga a tiempo. To your brothers and sisters, sal in Spain, that's the vosotros one, salgáis. And to your brothers and sisters everywhere else, salgan. Okay. You can look at these if you want. So call, llama, mañana, llame, mañana, llamen. Mañana, llamen, I guess. And then tu mamá, no vayas por ahí, No vaya por ahí, no vayan. So you can see the difference in how you're saying them. And then we're going to get to in our next set of notes when you have the pronouns. So I'm going to stop here for now. So these are some examples if you would like to work on it with examples. If you're asking somebody to call you, if it's your best friend, llámame. If it's your boss, llámeme. And if it's your compañeros del equipo, your teammates, you llámenme. And if it is your friend, you're asking them to pass it to you, pásalo. The waiter, páselo, the difference. And then to your whole basketball team, pásenlo. Okay. Make sure you wrote these down and you upload your notes to your guided notes assignment. Hasta luego.